What up? What up? What up? Daniel Augustin here with an instant reaction from the Virginia Tech Miami Hurricanes Friday night football game. Good game. Enjoyable game. Entertaining game. But Mario Cristobal said it before they got him running off the field. It was very sloppy, though. I think a game like this can tell you a lot about a team. It can tell you a lot about where a team is. It can tell you about how a team thinks. And after a game like this one, I think the most important thing is you get to see how a team is coached, how they respond to playing sloppy. The Hurricanes won. They got the dub, which ultimately is the most important thing. But I think there are a lot of takeaways. After a game like this, I don't think you just go back to, practice on Sunday, Monday, whatever day they want to go back in. They'll probably go in to watch film tomorrow or maybe Sunday. I don't think you go back in and feel like you won. This can't feel like a win for the Hurricanes. I think it's very important to win close games. I think it's very important to see yourself come back in games. But the Hurricanes took Virginia Tech for granted. I think the Hurricanes are a very good team. They're very skilled. They're very talented. But I think they're just learning who they are too. This is an NIL era. So in the NIL era, you got literally like a couple months to coach these guys up and get them moving in one direction. It's not necessarily program strength per se. It's more so about coaches and how the coaches can gel with these players as opposed to just this program. Because if that were the case, Florida State would be winning right now. I mean, they were just undefeated last season. But those coaches were not able to get those guys ready to play. Okay, they've spent some of the most money in NIL. And they were 0-3 before they got their first dub, right? So when it comes to the Hurricanes, talent is off the charts. Talent is off the charts. All right, they got the number one guy in the portal at quarterback, the number one guy or number two guy in the portal at running back. They're stacked. I think I like Cam Ward a little bit more than Shedeur Sanders right now, truth be told. I love watching Shedeur play. I love the magic behind the Colorado Buffaloes. I love the story behind the Buffaloes. But there are certain things that I find as slightly holding Shedeur back from being able to succeed at the next level that I see Cam Ward has right now. But they both got strengths. They both got weaknesses, right? One of the main things is running the ball. Cam Ward had 10 carries tonight. 10 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground. The majority of Shedeur's rushes are behind the line of scrimmage because he's constantly getting sacked. He struggles to get away from pressure. With that said, surprisingly, Cam Ward got sacked 3 times tonight, but he got away 10 times where he actually crossed the line of scrimmage. There were plenty of other times where he got away and made a pass instead. All right, there was that one play, fourth quarter, the ridiculous when he got away from 2 defenders and he just pushed the ball over to the tight end, and the tight end scampered down the field about 30 yards and got them down to the goal line. That's a Heisman type of play. Big time play. His athleticism showed in that play, his awareness, his ability to stay poised. But I do think that, the way Cam is approaching these games is I love it and I hate it at the same time. And the team is going to follow their quarterback. He's so poised that he's almost cocky within his being poised. But at the same time, sometimes that gets you off to slow starts. And I think they're taking teams for granted. I think they're going to take some teams for granted because scoring comes easy to them. Making a pass down the field comes easy to them. Cam Ward believes in himself. He's been through so much. So I think he carries that with him to the next play and to the next play. And that's a great fucking attribute to have. It is. You need that. You really need that. You need to be able to overcome what just happened, overcome this slight mistake here and there. But at the same time, you need to come into certain games without that type of approach. You can't get into the playoff and you playing Ohio State and you over here fumbling and throwing the ball away. 3 turnovers. Cam Ward specifically was responsible for 3 turnovers. 2 bad throws. 2 bad throws. One, I'm going to say, was more about the way that you improve. Games like this are the games where you really actually improve. These are the types of games where you really actually grow as a team, depending on the coaching. I think Cristobal is kind of a badass. So I think that they're going to grow from this. They luckily do not have the toughest schedule. So that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. I say it's a bad thing because There's almost not like a team that scares you, that makes you go back into work and makes you remain disciplined. Miami is coming out there like they're playing Pop Warner football. They're coming out there like it's practice, like it's 7-on-7. They're just gonna come out there and dominate every team. I think they were like a 14-point favorite in this game. Like 14 points. Again, like I said, great win because it's an important win. But this is the kind of win that feels like a loss. You cannot go back in feeling like you just are the better team. Virginia Tech looked like the better teams. And for all the people out there who said to me that I was crazy when I said that the Gators could have challenged this team, I don't know that Virginia Tech is better than the Gators. I don't know that. I don't know that. But I know that Virginia Tech did certain things that the Gators didn't do. They got pressure on Cam Ward. Cam Ward only got sacked once against the Gators. There's only one turnover. One turnover. We didn't get that much pressure on him as far as UF is concerned. One turnover, and there was a defender in his face when that happened. And tonight, they were all over him. They were all over him. The reason why he ran 10 times is because they were either all over him or because they had the receivers covered down the field, right? So the Gators could have absolutely played a better game. And I'm sorry to be going back to the Gators because I'm talking about Virginia Tech and Miami, but I am naturally a Gators fan, so I'm kind of stuck with that's in me, right? But I just say that because this Virginia Tech team lost to Vanderbilt. This Virginia Tech team has been struggling to put good tape down and to play a full game, but they almost just beat the number 7th ranked team in the country. They had them boys on the ropes. Come on, come here. That's how Virginia Tech had Miami. Miami couldn't stop the run. Look at these stats. Total yards, Virginia Tech, 394 yards. Miami, 508. Okay, so you win in the yards department by about 100. Passing yards, Virginia Tech, 188 passing yards. Miami, 343. That's the magic of Cam Ward. And remember, he threw 2 interceptions tonight. So that number, honestly, would have probably been about 400. 400. And he started forcing the ball down the field a couple times. He made some throws tonight that were amazing. But when it's time to play teams like Georgia, that's the number 1 team in college football in the nation when it comes to passing defense. What's up then? Because Georgia dominates on the defensive line. Their linebackers dominate, and their corners, their DBs, their safeties, they dominate. So what's up then? All across the board, they're showing up to work. And I think it's important to show up to work every week. You can't just show up certain times. Like, who we got? Virginia Tech? We good. Nah, bruh. Everybody want to beat you. Everybody! 6. But here's the deal. When it comes to the schedule, Miami's schedule is not that challenging, but it's sneaky is. The teams in the ACC, they're sneaky good. There's certain things that are not there. The domination is not necessarily in the ACC. The ACC is a sleeper conference. Okay? They got Louisville coming up. They got Georgia Tech coming up. They got Cal coming up. These are 3 teams that they like to run the ball. Louisville is ranked 37th. They're averaging 194 yards a game. Georgia Tech is ranked 69th, averaging 163 a game. Cal is ranked 82nd, averaging 145. I think Georgia Tech might give Miami fits. The thing about Miami, I think Miami's defense is their offense. Let me just be clear. I wanted Miami to win because I want to see the U be the U. Even though I'm a Gator fan, college football is better when the U is the U. College football is better when the U, Nebraska, Gators, Seminoles, Ohio State, LSU, you know, brand name teams. College football is sexy. College football is fun and feels like a gamble when, you got teams like NIU beating Notre Dame, but the U is a different kind of brand. So I want to see them win. It's been too long. Seeing them not be a good team is weird. So I don't want to see the U losing games to Virginia Tech, even though Virginia Tech has been good historically, but I don't want to see them losing to Virginia Tech. I don't want to see them losing to Louisville. I don't want to see that. I want to see them go undefeated, and I want to see them get to the playoffs, and I want to see them represent for the state of Florida. I want to see that program grow and rebuild and be what it once was. I do. When they play the Gators, I don't want none of that, but I want to see them ball, especially with where they are right now. All right. But I'll say this, Virginia Tech, oh man, Virginia Tech lost to the Hurricanes tonight, but they also lost to the referees. That the refs can't beat you. You got to beat a team so good that if there's a call that's called against you, maybe it hurts you for that drive or maybe just for that play, but you are still able to win the game because you had a 2-score lead, a 3-score lead, because you're able to get stops. Virginia Tech had a 2-score lead until they didn't. And after they didn't, I mean, honestly, once the game is in Cam Ward's hands, listen to the time of possession battle. Listen to this. Not only did the Hurricanes win the time of possession game, 34 minutes to Virginia Tech's 26 minutes. The Canes had the ball 8 minutes longer than Virginia Tech did. Why does that matter, though? Here's why. In the fourth quarter, oh my goodness, it's right here. I'm talking about some of the passes are just beautiful. Some of them, they look forced. But I love that. I love to see the gunslinger energy. I love that. I do. I really love watching this man play. I love to watch him play. But listen, they had the ball 5 minutes for 5 minutes at the end of the game, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. That's dominating. And Virginia Tech brought the blitz on that one play in particular. Cam Ward made a play. Cam Ward is the one who avoided the first guy. Get up out of here. Get up off me. Cam is special. Cam is special because when he got rid of that pass, when he chucked it over to his tight end, 9th-year senior, that's crazy. I wish I'd have known that this was possible, dog. Some of y'all just did it better than me because, man, I would have played longer if I could. Damn. But when he chucked it over like that, that receiver wasn't even really a hot route. He wasn't going out for a pass. He was staying in on his block. But Cam Ward kept his eyes down the field, found him, chucked it over 30 yards. Listen, the tight end made a great play, but come on, you got to give that up to Cam Ward. He's the guy with the ball in his hands. And if he doesn't throw the ball because he's nervous or this, that, and the third, now you lose or you get sacked. And now it's, down and distance that you just don't really want to face. Now, that same kind of play is how he gave up that first fumble at the very beginning of the game. The team is still very dangerous to me, especially with their schedule. The schedule is not that strong. I'm expecting some of these games to be fun as opposed to truly challenging. I think the Hurricanes are going to buckle the fuck up. I think they're going to wake up. A lot of people have not been giving Mario Cristobal any credit because they talking about old shit from the past, old down and distances from the past, old decisions that he made. Like coaches can't get better. I think he's failed enough. I think he's failed at enough programs. I think he's at the right program, but I also think he's got the right players. I think he's got the right ingredients here. And the fact that he said he knew that win was sloppy, that's what I love about Mario Cristobal. That's what I love about this Hurricanes team. I think he's going to hold them accountable. But ultimately, look, important win. I'm glad the Hurricanes got the dub, much needed. But now y'all boys got to wake up. Can't move on like this. You got to have some games where you get to know yourself. Important win because the Hurricanes overcame themselves. That's important. You got to be able to win even when you're making it harder on yourself to do so. Now, how you going to bounce back? Improve from here. I hope they don't settle with this win. I hope they don't take this win and see it as a sign of their greatness. I hope they see this win as a sign of their possibilities, as a sign of their opportunity. But I hope they don't just see this and just get too about themselves and just don't take this for granted.